Okay, I'm back for a third time today. Hello, everybody. It's Nate Miller from DigiFX. Thank you for joining me. It's been a long, bumpy road today trying to get everything working right, but I finally got some stuff working correctly with the Magic Leap, and I finished building stuff out for Unity. I was diving into the Unreal, building a new Magic Leap project this evening, but I decided I'll save that for later this week and focus on the Unity stuff tonight. Since we just finished out this one build. So in front of me here, I just have a level open, but before we go there, I'll show you what I just was able to render out and upload to YouTube. That's probably the best way to show it. So if we can get these going here. So I upload this directly from the actual Magic Leap, which is pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure you can hear the audio on the screen right here, but there is a chance that it may not be any audio, but should work. And so essentially we took our scene that we were working on and then we just put it on the screen. Okay, so what you saw there was just me explaining it again. I'm not sure if you heard the audio I heard. It played for me in the YouTube video, but there might be something wrong with my setup in terms of, because I don't see any desktop audio feedback. But anyways, that was one of the levels we had in the actual Magic Leap escape room series we're doing right here. And that was the Sky Island portion of that. So right now what I want to do is I want to connect the two, both the beach and the Sky Island, so that we actually can walk around and then go from level to level and do some cool, fun, engaging stuff with the tools we have built into this level here. So in this situation, we'll start off with just one kiosk window here, and I'm just going to hide the other two because they're not necessarily... And I think the way I have them set up is I actually have them under the buttons here. So we can just go here. There we go. And so now that I have the one window I need to use, I know this is how we can build it out. So what I should do here is just center this and get it where it needs to be, and then leave this as is. And I'm going to back up and make a new level and just save it differently, just so we don't mess with the working one right here, because this is 3 levels that are working pretty good, and I just want to start fresh when I start adding stuff and connecting levels together. So we'll go here. Let's see if I can get my and I'll just save it out as something new. So I do have animations for the other game that I can import here, but I'm going to just do them from scratch because the scale on this is a little bit different. Okay. Come on, man, what are you doing? Every time I start jamming, it messes up on me. So I'll just add a new one here. We'll make this the main scene. I mean, I'll rename this because there's going to be like eventually you have a title scene and a bunch of menu items and stuff. So calling this the main scenes, and I meant plural. So I'll just say here. Level 1. Okay, and okay, so let's go back to our beach scene because this is our big one that has all the stuff. And we want to basically, there's a lot of empty space, so when you play it in the actual game, and I guess what I can do is, no, I can't build it out while I'm doing this, but I do want to shrink it down. But I think what I can do is, I want the kiosk, when you hit the button on this, I want that to animate down and this to all pop up, like all at different times. And I think it'll be a really cool effect in terms of how it propagates on the screen here. And so we have to kind of group this stuff and make it all work in unison, and also make sure it's not too heavy. Before I do that, I want to make sure that we have the connecting piece in the middle, which I'll just put up. And so I'll build everything in and then I'll animate it back. So there'll be everything visible now. And then we can worry about pulling it back. Model here. Come on. There it is. So mesh, beanstalk, final. In order to make this, I think, realistic, well, not realistic, but not too big and obnoxious, I definitely have to shrink the island down a little bit. So the goal is, and I'll give you one secret, this is the first thing, is that you're going to have to find the seeds to make the beanstalk grow. And that's one of the escape room things here. I don't know why I saved this out new, but I have an updated version for some reason here. So I guess I'll use it. Alright, well, that looks better. Okay, cool. So we got a beanstalk, and that was pretty straightforward. And that's what happens when you have assets ready to go. You can just plop them in, get them ready to set up, and then ready for the gameplay. So the next thing I want to do is I want to animate this to go up, but I want to actually give it some grass around it and make it more realistic. So. I need like a whole bunch of it at once. One thing looks pretty lame, doesn't it? Probably should use these little vines, huh? I think those make a lot more sense. So like, I can actually have those grow into. And the grass doesn't look good at all. Keep in mind though, the sand's not going to be in play. Sand's actually going to be disabled like that. Sand's just for my reference. And so the goal is to have this stuff kind of propagate in like clear areas. We'll chunk it up. What we need to do is just get this, all this stuff here. This is a good chunk of stuff we can try to replicate. I didn't copy anything. What the hell is going on? The stream just really messes up my development stuff here. I didn't even copy any of those plants for me. Yeah, well, unfortunately, just unless you get some big plants in there, it's not going to look good. So we can we can try to make this a little bit more like grew out of a forest, and not just the middle of nowhere. Or we can kind of have this stuff all come in at once somehow. Maybe like a. I shouldn't really be making stuff that's going to cause more processing delays, but I'm just trying to fill it in so that when you render it doesn't look so, like square. Because this stuff doesn't really move either. I think it's just sitting there, so it's going to want to tuck it in there, and we'll put some more stuff in there, and maybe some like cool particle effects. It's also not leveled right there, but we can fix that later. And yeah, the ultimate goal is just to make it look like it's we got some cool stuff coming out. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm not trying to detail too much right now. I'm just trying to make it look like a cool little island that we can have the beanstalk come out of. And to be honest, I think in terms of scale, I think it should be bigger than that. This would be pretty big. Well, you want to be looking at it like that side, looking up like it's going up in the sky. So probably want it to fade out in some clouds or something at some point too. There you go. There's our beanstalk. That looks like a good size. What's this plant doing over here? Interesting. Alright, got him back. What are we doing over there? I guess when I copied and pasted them, they went over there, huh? Pretty big. So I'm not really sure how the Magic Leap does with when you put a bunch of stuff in there. I know when you have a lot of particles at once going off, it tends to slow down the frame rate. But in terms of like mesh that just sits there, I wonder how bad it actually affects it. This little thing's weird. It's just kind of sitting there. I don't know if I like it there. These things are kind of like supposed to be like accent pieces, but without this sand and this floating there, they don't really. It's better when they come out of the sand. And there's not really any sand in the scene. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. When I do look at the scale at this flamingo, though, this is a pretty big map. I gotta bring it down a little bit. And also, we gotta turn this video off here. See what that does. Streaming's actually gonna get worse. Oh man. Alright, so we got some errors here, but they're pretty much referring to the headset, right? So we can not worry about those. And again, the game view isn't that good to us, but you can see what's happening over here. So a lot going on. But all in all, it looks pretty cool. Got a cool little environment. So the way I was thinking it is that this maybe should kind of grow out of over here. We'll keep this open because this is supposed to be like a dance floor area for like when they all like when you beat the game. But maybe I'll make that over here. I don't know. It just seems it's kind of obtrusive in the middle, but I guess that's the point. I think if we can wrap everything around this, it becomes a good centerpiece to whatever comes next in the game there. But I think there's going to be a few like places to escape. Like maybe what will happen is you'll fall. Oh, there's our dancing bikini girl. But maybe what will happen is you'll come back to the boat and then fall off and then go underneath or something. I just got to figure out how to connect all the scenes up. So we keep in mind we're not going to have all this in one place, but I have them all here for the sake of just seeing it happen. So this scene, which, where's that at? Is over here. Oh, okay. So that puts things in perspective. Look how big that is. It's, I didn't realize it's so big. So the goal is to have that float somewhere up here. So let's move that now. I think what I can do is I can have waypoints in the game that I can touch, and it will transport the player to new center areas in the level. And that will allow for you to have everything simulated at once, and you can move around without loading stuff. But I don't know if you're going to be able to handle that kind of processing, though. That's like... Where's the Sky Island? Let me just unpack this. Yeah, I don't know why that offset's so bad. I'm pretty sure I have it. I don't know. There's an item that's really not centered. So, fortunately, that's just the way it is. Okay, so we'll. So I don't know if I want to scale down my monster with the scale of everything else here. So what I'll do is I'll just take him out real quick just to make sure we don't mess him up, and then we'll scale him out separately. And then nav mesh and the objects are fine, I think. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Why the heck did I get that? So I was thinking something more like this size. That floats right above there. Oh, what's going on? So if I could put, well, it doesn't matter. I forget that I'm not going to keep this together, but I could put like a little cloud system here to cover this up. So if you could look up, you could only see the clouds. You could see the island floating above you, which I still actually should do. Now I think about the island should still be there as like something you have to get to, and you have to figure out how to get to it. Yeah, we'll just do that for now. This is where I feel like I'm going crazy. Like, it should be showing me what's highlighted, but did I turn that off? Or what's going on here? Or is it just slow because I'm streaming? I may have turned it off like an idiot. Come on. Okay, selection will do. Okay, so it's definitely just a bug thing, right? Because that should be popping up where it is. Okay, so he's gonna be king of the castle, and somehow you have to like take him out or something. Maybe we'll have some kind of cool slingshot effect or whatever we can use with the controller here. That's kind of a good perch run, I think. And you'll come in right at the edge right here, and Okay. So the nice thing about keeping them all together is you can copy stuff and just reuse it without having to import it in. And so that's why it's kind of better to build it out in the same place so you can use the same kind of stuff and then you separate it. I want to reuse this thing here. So let's go here. I'll copy paste that, goes to the bottom, and then I can find my little monster here. Come on. And I'll try to snap it to it. And then there I can just zero that out again. Okay, there it is. And let's pull it up. And I realize when I look at the scale of this stuff, I realize how big this level actually is. When you model it in 3D, it's hard to tell, and then but when you simulate it with like what I do is I just match whatever the Magic Leap kind of sets as standards for values, and really like that helps me decide how big stuff should be. It's not like it doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be somewhat realistic in terms of the size. Like you want this plant to be like a realistic plant monster you'd see. So I wonder if there's ways to okay. So something looks better that way. And I'm just making sure I just move the whole parent so I don't screw anything else up. Right, so okay, where's my little question box? There it is. Another thing that's something I've learned is that you want to make sure that you group stuff that you don't want that are in big chunks like that. You never want to have to click on that and have it. You always want to just keep stuff grouped that you never really touch. And then everything else you work with, keep it outside of that big group. So that way every time I go for that, I don't have to click this and open up that big thing. The exclamation point is valuable, but let's just, looks like we actually screwed up the scale here. I don't know why that happened. But maybe I did that. Yeah, it looks like it's warped, which is weird. It has to do with being parented to the guy, though. That's what it is. When I take it out, it should be fine. Yeah, see? It's just something weird with the controller has on it. So that we're not going to zero out. So I may have to figure out the size of this box compared to what it is on the other level. But the goal is, and actually this is probably going to be down low because this is going to be like answer your questions. You probably break it and you're going to get some kind of thing and have to figure stuff out. So that's kind of how this is going to work, I think. Every little section is going to have a mystery box, and then it's going to give you something, and then from there you're going to have to figure out what to do. And that's all I'm going to tell you. But I also have to make it so that you don't have to walk around in a place because you're not going to be able to bounce around in this stuff. So I'm thinking we'll just put this right here. It doesn't really matter. I have to get the camera in place. But we do have a mystery box, so it's pretty cool. We got this. So the other thing we're gonna do now is let's line up. Now I know an island doesn't have a hollow bottom, but I do like the idea of stacking these, and then maybe just figuring out how to like have the camera jump from area to area, versus just loading scenes. So I'm gonna try it both ways. I'm gonna try a script that like moves the camera to where you want to be in terms of like teleporting. And I've used teleporting is pretty easy to do. You just have to move the space. You have spawn points, and you just basically spawn at different points in the script. So it's not bad. How does it look like if you're looking up? Well, I guess what we should do is we should just build this as is now and see what that looks like in the immersive space. So I will do that. I'm going to build it now, and we'll come back to this, and we'll see if the Magic Leap can handle all this stuff. I think it can. I don't think it does. I want to say I don't think that we've gone too haywire in terms of stuff in a scene for a normal game, because this has all been textured pretty well. But I don't know how the Magic Leap handles stuff in memory and space, so it'll be interesting to find out. And also one thing I want to make sure is I need to make sure the main camera, which is where we're going to spawn at, isn't in weird places. Right now it's like kind of in those bushes. So I know that even if you move it, the script moves it back to that space. I know that. So what I'm thinking is we move all this stuff over a little bit. Just a little bit. I know I'm not moving the whole thing, but I'm just going to do it one at a time. And I don't know how much, depending on the performance and memory, I may delete some of this stuff, and I may not even, we may not even use it. And this time we're not going to build with the sand, because I think the biggest mistake you can make is when you try to fill and mesh everywhere in AR. You got to put little chunks and little things. Even the stage is too big, but like circular chunks is the way to do it, because the way the goggles work and your mind works and you focus, like kind of like if you have the telescope effect, right? When you look down that big tube, same kind of thing with AR. So even this stuff may want to break it up, but I want it to be natural, and I want you to, I want you to be immersed with an environment like you're actually on this beach trying to find stuff. And so the sand also kind of gives you, kind of screws up the depth factor, I think, a little bit. And stuff like this stuff out here is maybe way out of the way, and it's not even doing anything for us. But what I like about this boat is that this boat you may never actually be able to walk to or get to, but it's always doing kind of its little dance in the background, and it creates kind of an atmosphere, and it makes you feel like you're on an island. So I think ways to maybe I'll put little patches of sand here or something. I'm not sure yet. I want to make it seem sandy, like it's a beach, and right now it just feels like you don't have that. And so the other option is you put kind of little circular chunks like we have in our deep sea here. But you know what? We should probably just render out all this, huh? Maybe we'll just do that. Maybe we'll just render that floor and it's like a 3. That's kind of cool, huh? Yeah, let's try this. But anyways, this is our escape room immersive 3R level, and it's pretty cool, huh? We got a kind of the spiral effect, and I think what we can do is I want to put 2 layers kind of masking this stuff. Um, but I also realize that when you run this in real time, you're not going to run all of this stuff at once. You're going to run chunks and levels of it. But the levels should both have the top shelf, and then when you're in the bottom, it should have the new top shelf, and then you're going to render it in both levels, but different sides of it, I guess is what I'm saying. And so, for instance, if we're on this level looking up, we may not actually have all this stuff up here because we'll be taking up memory, but we want the island there to represent that that's above us. And so I think I want to say that these should all animate. No, they shouldn't because I don't have the scripts on them. All right, so we have a couple more things to do to actually test this out if we wanted to like travel 3 levels here. I think what we have to do is like some kind of submersible, right? Some kind of like submarine that takes us down, and I have just that. So one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to open up my other one again and risk my stream getting messed up. But one thing I do want to do is I want to pull some more assets real quick, because this asset's going to be clutch for the escape room. Then our master core assets, our assets right here, we have a bunch of stuff. I know I have a sub somewhere in here. This is one of the original bad boy models I've had. It might even be before Oasis. It was like a yellow sub, I think it was called. But I had gotten it just for this. And unfortunately, when you're not in it, you can't see the 3D models, which is easier than reading what it is. Because sometimes I label them weird stuff. Not a yellowfin tuna. There it is. So the yellow sub is where 3D models, yellow ROV it's called. That's going to be the thing that takes us down to the underground. Be cool if you guys could hear the music I'm listening to, which I'm not sure if you can. Okay. Be cool if you guys could hear the music. Yeah, I didn't realize it's been silent for the stream the whole night. Oh, I fixed that. Yeah, now you can hear it. Right. Well, for some reason the OBS is not picking it up. That's the problem. And properties. You know what? It's because I turned off my Soundflower. You're right, that's what it is. Who knows what Soundflower is? Or maybe my son. It's in the MIDI devices, right? Sound input. Sound input. How do I find a MIDI input? I always have to search that. MIDI. Audio MIDI setup. Right here. Alright, we got a system audio. Does that do anything? Yeah. Let's see if you can Huh. Advanced audio properties. Advanced audio properties. Alright, well, just trying to get you some music, but apparently that's not going to happen. I'll have to figure that out because it was working before, and I think the new update messed that up. But if you look, it's not playing the top desktop audio one like it should. So that was my concern here. So let's get our yellow submarine. ROV, where are you? Nice. I think I already got this one set up in a bunch of ways. I'll copy it. Let's go here, and I'll go back into my Oasis core asset, and what is it? Add escape. Items. Right next to the yacht. Let's just call it a let's just call it the sub. Okay, a lot of stuff on the sub. See, I've spent a lot of time on this, I think. I didn't model it, but I found it a long time ago, and I think I textured it good. So it'll be fun. Be fun to use if it looks well here. Okay, so that should allow for us to just import that. It may take a second to import that new asset. But I think we're on to something in terms of 3D space here. Now, what does it really mean in terms of AR, looking through the floor and seeing like the ocean below you? That's kind of a cool thing, I guess. Like maybe you'll look down and see stuff swimming away, but how you get there, I think, is the big thing. And how your body moves in the AR space, I think, would be fun too. Well, I'll probably just make the ROV circle right here for now, or do something. What we got here? Oh, okay, well, we're not going to use that anyways. Only one is the FBX. Where is it? Okay. I mean, you can see the size of that little thing compared to the size of the rock. But it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Needs to be retextured, but it's got a cool shadow. So this is going to be our, maybe what we can do is we can put ourselves like inside of it. I don't know. I mean, you probably want something really textured to be, to be inside of it. So if I click this, I think it's also just one piece. Yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely going to be more an ROV. Yeah, it's not gonna be something right around it. I don't know, but it's cool. It fits the gameplay very nicely. And I think what I'll do is I'll just put a cool little quick script on it, which I can reuse as much as I want here. So let's call this the sub, baby. Plant monster is in Sky Island still. So the other thing I should do here is on our button. I'm not sure how I'm gonna deep sea, Sky Island. Alright, and we'll just toggle this on obnoxiously. Boom, boom. Alright, so if this doesn't break my magic leap, I don't know what will. I don't know what would break it. If that doesn't break it, what I just did there. Alright, where is our main camera? Let's make sure we're not offset. Okay, so our main camera is where it needs to be. This is what we'll see when we plug into the headset. And you click that button and everything just propagates. And so then after that we'll do some animation. Yeah, we'll do animation for a few hours. And it'll be fun. Okay, so that goes in here. Sky Island. I'm not going to worry about the scripts and the animation on the PC yet. Let's just test this and see if this actually runs here. All right. So the first thing I think I have to do is I have to make sure I add some of the actual functionalities with this controller, with the scene, and that will fix the issue I'm having with it disconnecting. Because I can have both that and the hand gestures in the scene that I want. Okay, so it's working great now. I just had a nice break. So let's go ahead and build and run it. Oh, all right. Okay, so I'll let this build a little bit. I'm going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in like 10 minutes. And then we can see what happens, and I'll share this with you like I did last time. I think I'll record in the screen again. And you can see what happens, what it looks like. And I think what will be cool is that you'll be standing in the middle, and you'll look up and you'll see the island. You'll look down, you'll see the deep sea. And you can you'll want to figure out how to get there, and so that's kind of the cool angle I'm going with this. Now, if it can handle all this stuff in real time, I don't know. I think it does a better job of processing stuff that's farther away, so that may not affect it as much. But you can see we're actually building right now, so everything's good. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back and we're rounding up, just waiting for some stuff to finish up here. And these caution warnings are just dealing with scripts that need to be fixed on some of the stuff we didn't take care of. So while this finishes building up, I'm going to go ahead and think about our next steps in the project here. So we have, I think the best way to do is to, I want to be able to storyboard this out. So I have a spider map. Let's see, spider. Oh, what is that called? I forget what simple maps. Here it is. It's a pretty cool little tool I use sometimes, just to storyboard and think about flow of systems and just processes. Because sometimes you have ideas, but you just don't know how to get them in the right place, in the right order. So, okay, so we have immersive generation. Like anything, it's not going to work because this is just hogging all the memory. So, oh, there we go. Spoke too soon. Okay, so this is our test here. I wonder how we're going to do this. Should figure out how to move all this stuff out. So this program is really fun to use in terms of if you're into like building sequences and stuff, man. You can. This is the way I would always storyboard. I would even storyboard out stuff when I'm doing video or pretty much anything. And so a spiderweb kind of brainstorming program like this is a good way to clear your head, get some thoughts, and I'm just trying to give us some room here. Oh, and also figure out how to use this. So how do I, there we go, and then if I add when I just start typing and it doesn't work. Oh, the text right here. You're gonna add the text here. Okay, we want to make it big though. All right. There we go. So this is gonna be Oasis Island Escape. And I want to make sure this is big. It's too big. That's pretty good. Let's make it somewhere fun. This pulls in my system or my system fonts. They're all pretty good, I guess. Okay, that works. And we know that there has to be a starting point. So the starting point for us is going to be, and actually I don't even know if we need these right now. So we'll just delete these and then just make them if we need them again. And let's keep this guy tucked up here out of our way. But this is the one flow to get out of the island. And so, or maybe this should be the beginning, and then way over here should be the exit. And there's ways to bypass all of the crap, like a back end or something. So I'm going to do this right here. But the point is, it's got to go from start to finish, the end goal. So how do we add add new node? No, add a branch, huh? A child node. There we go. So we're just gonna build out a few different nodes here, and I'm only doing this for now while we wait for this. I'll go back to the extra development soon. And I think there's a way to copy and paste the format probably. This program's quirky, but I'm not gonna stress out about it. Let's just use it. Alright. And then our end goal is gonna be, so we'll do one more. Be finish. Okay, so I think what gets interesting here is that we have to be able to go back and forth to places. So from here it's going to go, so I'm guessing this is all the surface. Here's how we're going to do this. This is all the surface, and then it has to go to the sky and the bottom. So here we'll go another child, and this is going to go up to the sky. And then it's going to come back down to the bottom here, which I don't know if it can. And connect, well, that doesn't work. So maybe we can just kind of hover it here for now until we figure something out. And we're just going to copy this and do the same thing for this one. Oh, it doesn't work like that. You can go like that. And we're just kind of creating a flow for us that we know, you know. So, and I don't necessarily know what's going to go in these, but I know these are milestones you have to get through to get to the next step. And so this is like the main structure of the flow of the game. And then we're going to have a bunch of mini flows that you have to, you know, meet to get to the next level. And this will let me think those processes out while I build it. Okay, so, and this is just going to be the win. So you go to the Sky Island once, you go to the bottom once. And so it's like kind of like a 3-stage thing, I'm guessing. So beach start, beach ongoing, and then this is going to be beach finished. Let's say beach end. Build. It was building. Let's see. Let me see what we got here. Okay, so we are building here, and let me see if I can change the actual scene I have for you. Okay, so we are building. So what I'm going to do now, we have built it, is I'm just going to play the scene and record it, and then I'll play back in the screen for you. So I'm zoomed in. This is the big version of me in my magic leap on the internet. And I can just start recording. And so it is working now in this scene, which I like. And I think that's what I learned, is that as long as you have the components that Magically provides in the toolkit in the scene, it doesn't have issues. I can play around with the controls. It's when I don't include some of that stuff, it just doesn't like that. It can't see the controller or anything. So we're going to start recording. Okay, so now I am recording in our Oasis Islandscape game. And so this is a simple kiosk window right here with a button on it that represents a doorway to a lot more. So when I click this, there should be a lot of stuff that propagates. And before I do that, also I should note that we are using some of the hand gestures that is provided, and so you can see that it recognizes my hands and I can do stuff. So the button clicks. Oh, okay, so interesting. So I don't see, yeah, okay, so never mind. This is not working. All right, let's just stop it. problem there was it was loading the wrong level. So what happened? I didn't actually build to it. So let me see. We got yeah, it built. Didn't build the whole thing out, so let's see what's going on here. Okay. Well, I think what I'll do is I'll stop streaming and I will build this out and then I'll come back.